What's up, guys? Welcome back to Let's Play Tenshi 2 right here on the arcade. And on the last episode, apparently Michelle was feeling down about her whole situation, so being stuck in the time window. And who wouldn't? I mean, who wouldn't, honestly, be depressed that they're stuck in an alternate universe in time and you can't get out? But the next morning came, Rose and Kenji were, I guess, set on just having muffins and tea. Tessa said, no, you're gonna have something that I'm gonna whip up. So let's see what happens. You bet I know how to cook. I studied up on sports nutrition and all the rest of it. So how do you two feel about omelets? I've never had an omelet, to be honest. Omelets? Aren't eggs bad for you? A common misconception, Ken. I'd say that omelets are the perfect way to start the day. Without another word, Tessa started into the kitchen, leaving me to watch as she started fiddling about and Rose sighed wearily. You know, when I used to work at McDonald's, one of the things I learned how to do was make the omelets the McDonald's way. You know, by putting some vegetables in it, some diced up vegetables in it, and it was like the egg mixture, and it would cook on the actual grill itself. I've never tried it, to be honest. The only thing I've actually ever tried was the round egg. Because at one point I did try to diet. So the thing I would eat would be a muffin, the McMuffin with no butter on it, and in between it a round egg. It didn't last very long. I'm not a fighter. Okay. All right. Without another word, Tessa started into the kitchen, leaving me to watch as she started fiddling about, and Rose sighed wearily. Something wrong? Oh, not really, I guess, but, well, I realize that we haven't had a lot of time to get to know Tessa. She arrived less than a week ago, and we've had to deal with so much. But I just don't like her. That's all. Really? Why not? Well, if Rose is like a preppy English type of a girl, that's why I'm doing the voice like that. Well, for starters, take what just happened. She tends to be very critical and opinionated about everything. If she doesn't agree with how we do things, or things she knows better, then she'll just bull ahead and do things the way she used to, without even asking if we want her help. Wow, really? That's right, and I know the situation is hardly ideal, and perhaps with everything that's been happening, I'm blowing things out of proportion. Yeah, Rose, it kind of sounds like you are. Also, the fact that Tenshi brought her here so quickly. I realize that he's upset about what Michelle did, but that still doesn't mean that... Incoming breakfast, people! Get it while they're hot! Without hesitation, Tessa marched over with a broad grin and served us each a plate laden with one of her omelets. My breakfast specialty, omelets loaded with spinach, onions, and turkey sausage? I'm not even, I don't even know how to react. I never heard of turkey sausage. But spinach, onions, and turkey sausage?
I would probably actually eat that.
You would?
I would. I like spinach.
Well, what are you waiting for? Dig in already. We've got a big day ahead of us. Doing the voices hurts my throat. Exchanging a look with Rose, I then looked down at the omelet and took a sniff, deciding that it certainly smelled good. I probably wouldn't think so. I shrugged and began to eat it in addition to the muffin Rose had made. So you two, Munch, got anything in particular planned for today? Ahem, I'm doing some work on new medications to better counter the side effects of time travel. After what happened during our last trip, we're going to need something to help us deal with the worsened effects if we have to go back that far into the past again. I hear that. What about you, Ken? Got anything special planned? No, but I'm not sure that there's anything I can do to help. I've never gone to college, so I don't see what I could do to help with the time window or any of the rest of it. Hey, you got a functioning brain between your ears and a perfectly good pair of hands. I'm sure there's something you can do. I hiccuped in between lines. For starters, I'd like to start thinking about what our next move should be in dealing with the fruitcakes from the future. Munch, munch. I gotta tell you, this seriously sucks. Us stuck playing a defensive game while the opposition can pick and choose when and where they strike next. Anybody with an ounce of sense in their head knows that the best defense is a good offense. So, how you liking your omelet, Ken? Huh? Oh, it's good, thank you. Say, you wouldn't like a blueberry muffin to go with your breakfast. Rose and Tessa responded to this with a look of surprise. Sure, why not? Dietary fiber is something most people don't get enough of anyway. I don't even know if I get enough fiber, period. I don't even know. Why did I even bring that up? The way Tessa replied visibly did not do wonders for Rose's mood. I thought you said that you didn't approve of muffins for breakfast. I said that muffins alone did not a breakfast make, but as a side dish, they're fine and dandy. So where are they hiding? I'll go get one for you. Without another word and pausing just long enough to shoot Tessa a glare that she easily ignored, Rose stood from her seat and started towards the kitchen area. A few moments later, she returned as Tessa continued to chat. Here you go. Starting at the sound of Rose's voice, I looked around to see her approaching with a cooked muffin that had been sliced in half and had butter spread over it. She then placed it in front of Tessa and gave a polite bow of her head. Okay, let's see what we've got here. Picking up half of the blueberry muffin, Tessa took a thoughtful nibble from it. She then paused to carefully chew it, raising her eyes in a contemplative manner. Not greasy, sweet but not too sweet, plenty of berries, soft and moist. A few seconds later, Tessa swallowed, smiled, and gave a thoughtful nod. Good job on the muffins, Rose. Rose blinked a few times in surprise as if she had not been expecting a compliment from Tessa. But she managed a slight smile. I'm glad you liked them. I'm going to turn the volume down a little bit because I can't hear myself talk on here. And this thing's like the volume is like right in my ears, so. And there's sometimes in the game where there's like auditory jump scares, and it actually caught me a couple of times.
Yeah.
I'm glad you like them. Sure do. Maybe later we could go over the recipe and see if we could perk it up a bit. Perk it up? Sure, I mean, they taste great, but I bet with a bit of tweaking, we could make them healthier eating. We should look into when, we're not trying to figure out how to keep a pair of morons from mucking up the entire time-space continuum. With that, Tessa began chomping down on the muffin and demolishing the rest of her breakfast, leaving Rose to shake her head sourly before turning back to her seat. Honestly, she's so... Oop. Not paying attention to where she was stepping, Rose caught her foot on something, and an instant later she was tumbling forwards, desperately swinging her arms in search of a handhold. But she didn't find one and crashed into me chest first. Oof. No, it was me that was knocked off balance and falling off the bench where I had sat. Anticipating a rough landing, I braced myself for impact when I felt something soft and sturdy break my fall. Hang on, Ken, I've got you. Tessa, what are you doing? I'm keeping you and Ken from going splat on the floor and maybe breaking something in the process. What does it look like I'm doing? As Tessa pushed me back up, my head cushioned by her admirable assets. Why do I read that? Rose was growling in her throat. It was clear that she realized the pink-haired girl's point, but at the same time... And they are not liking each other. Well, not every situation requires you to butt in. Sure, right. I shall let you break Ken's head open instead. That's a great idea. Rose's expression made it clear that Tessa was currently breakdancing on her last remaining nerve. How do you breakdance on someone's remaining nerves? Would you have to get on the ground and then start spinning? Rose leaned in closer to the former cheerleader, pressing her chest into my face in the process. Some of these things don't even make sense. You know what I mean. Ever since Tensei brought you here, you've done nothing but criticize us. Tell us everything we've been doing wrong, and act like we're complete idiots. What? No, I haven't. I noticed something I think I could be better on. Or, I think you've made a mistake. Like when you insisted on all of us working to install quantum shields around the entire lab? When we don't have the time or the resources for that? I get the feeling I should be reading this faster because they're in the middle of an argument, but I can't. That's just known as being smart, ding-dong, or have you forgotten about the opposition's time window can let them go anywhere and any when? I haven't forgotten any of the sort, but you should know from what we've told you that Izuki and Bunny have never made such an attempt. There's always a first time, and I for one would rather be prepared for the worst, in case that first time is when they decide they're through with us meddling time Tenshi and send us a bomb. I wish you wouldn't act like this is one of your comic books. We're not some crazy bunch of superheroes. You got that part right. And more importantly, if you knew that they couldn't risk doing something like that, if they blew up the lab in this time, it wouldn't exist for them to find in their time. At this point, I was running into a dilemma. Both Rose and Tessa were right in each other's faces, spitting insults at each other at point-blank range. All the while, I sat between them, my head bracketed by their bosoms. Really? 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 I was quickly running out of air. Okay, yeah. Suffocation imminent. My brain is about to explode. And this is only the second episode I've recorded today. Help. Need air, please. It wouldn't need to be the kind of bomb that goes boom, stupid. How about poison gas? Or maybe one of the viruses they're supposed to have running around in their future. They wouldn't do that. Are you sure? From where they're sitting, we all wound up pushing up Daisy's way before they were even born. I don't see them minding too much if they accelerated that schedule a bit, if they meant getting us out of the way. I swear at this point I could see sparks leaping from the two girls' eyes, but I had more important concerns, such as the fact that my lungs were burning in protest. So in desperation, I waved my arms frantically and made muffled calls for help. Help! Fortunately, both girls took notice of my flailing arms and shifted their focus from each other to me, at which point they went from snarling with rage to gasping in dismay. Oh my, Kenji. Ken? Both girls jumped back from me like they had been burned, giving me the chance to gasp in several lungfuls of precious air. I continued to do so as Rose bent down to look at me in the face. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. Are you all right? How's his color? Is he breathing okay? Cough, cough. I'm okay. Just running a bit low on air there. Yeah, being smothered with kind of... Tessa, could you try not talking? I need to look after Kenji and... Wait a minute, Tessa. What was it that you said about a bomb? As I sat there recovering from near suffocation, I felt my mind explode with inspiration. I don't know how it happened, but somehow the seed of an idea had been planted in my brain. About how the enemy could send us a bomb? No, I mean the other part. You mean how it could be a poison bomb or maybe a virus that... That's it, a virus. Listen, the reason we can't get to Bunny Mizuki is because our time window only allows us to go back and forth between the present and the past. And they live in the future, right? Right, I'm sure their time window won't let them go any further into their future, but still. And they can't do anything to our time window because in the future, it's their time window, right? I think we pretty much established that, yeah, so? So what if we loaded a virus into the time window? A time-delayed one, designed to activate in the future. After Bunny and Mizuki take over the place, and when it activates, it opens a portal to the here and now, so that we can go after them in their time. Ooh, I like it. I like it. Good thinking, Ken. Clearly brains run in your family. I'm sorry, Kenji. I know that you're trying, but while that might seem like a good idea at first, I'm afraid that it just won't work. Why not? It sounds like a great idea to me. I mean, I could whip up a virus, I could do the job, no problem. And how else are we going to get to the future and rescue that Egyptian princess and put her back when and where she needs to be? I understand all that. But in order for this to work, we would have to know exactly when in time Bunny and Mizuki live, and even more importantly, we'd have to set the virus to take us to after they captured Neferubi in order to mount a rescue. Without that information, I'm sorry, it just won't work. I had to admit I was disappointed by Rose's point and had to admit that it was valid. But at the same time, that this was the first thing that any of us had come up with that might give us a chance to rescue the captive Egyptian and maybe find out what exactly Bunny and Mizuki were up to. Maybe there's a way we can get that information. Look, Rose, Tessa, go find Kyo and get her to the time window room. I'll go find Grandpa. Maybe if we work together, we can figure some way of making this work. Without another word, I rushed out of the cafeteria and set out in search of Tensei. Sometime later, he and I were standing in the time window room a few minutes later. Rose, Tessa, and Kyo had arrived. But before we go any further, guys and gals, and find out where this conversation is going to go, we're going to go ahead and call it an episode. If you guys liked the video, be sure you slam that like button like a champ. And don't be a curtain jerker. If you guys want to see more of your old pal, the Wrestlegamer, in Time Tenshi 2, you know what you got to do. You got to hit that subscribe button down below. So with that being said, I'm your friendly neighborhood Wrestlegamer, and I'll see you at the next Work Zone. Bye, guys.